Now it's time for us to get together and enjoy the lovely words and phrases of the English language. With you every Sunday live from 2, with lots of fun. And all the words and phrases of the English language. Join with Mr. Duncan on the live chat and discover all the words and phrases of the English language. Learn together and have fun. Listen and laugh, it really can be done. Your learning journey has just begun. Join with Mr. Duncan on the live chat and discover all the words and phrases of the English language. Learn together and have fun.
We have a wet one today. We've had a lot of rain. We've even had some thunder and lightning. But now the rain has stopped. Here we go again. It is lovely to be back with you. English Addict is with you right now, live from the birthplace of the English language. You know where it is. I know where it is. Come on, Mr. Duncan. Pull your finger out. We haven't got all day.
Join with Mr. Duncan on the live chat. Learn together and have fun.
Yes, having fun. That is why we are here today. I hope you are having a super duper Sunday. Hi everybody. This right here is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? Do you have a smile on your face at the moment? If you don't, there is no need to worry. I will try my best to put a smile on your face over the next hour. Here we are again for those who love the English language. Do you like learning English? I have a feeling that there are a lot of people who love learning English. English is an international language. You would describe it as an international language, a form of communication that is easy to use for everyone. I would say that English is probably a good base language, but also it is a useful second language as well for those who want to communicate with other people around the world. I was watching a very interesting documentary last night about technology. However, the documentary was made way back in 1980, and they were talking about the way in which computers and technology will change our lives in the future. And it was very interesting watching and some of the experts talking about how life will be in the future. And that future is where we are right now. The future they were talking about is the future or the present that we are enjoying now. And it was interesting to hear some of the experts guessing what life would be like in the future, 20 or 30 years ahead from 1980. Some of the guesses, some of the predictions were very good. Certainly, when they were talking about how we would communicate in the future, the voice would be used less and text would be used more, especially with email, text messaging, and of course now we have video as well. And even that was mentioned in the documentary. They did mention that we would be able to communicate using the voice and the image as well. Very interesting documentary. There is a very good YouTube channel hosted by the BBC, and they are showing lots and lots of old documentaries from many years ago. So I do find it interesting watching old programs that are trying to predict the future. It's even more fun because we now live in that actual future. Very interesting, in fact. A very good YouTube channel. BBC Archive is the name of the channel, and it is on YouTube. Very good. Here we go again then. Thank you very much for joining me. We are talking all about clothes today. Clothing. They say that clothes make the man. Or the woman, of course. It is an old phrase that was used in the past that would say quite often that a person would be judged by the clothes they wear. We all wear clothes. Well, most of us do, normally. There might be occasions where you don't wear clothes, but that, as they say, is a whole different thing altogether. So that is what we are talking about today. Clothing, fashion, the way we dress, and of course, today you might notice I am wearing my smart clothes. Some people say we love to see you in your smart clothing. Other people don't like it. They think it is too formal. So today I am wearing my shirt and tie today, looking rather professional, which is what we often think when we see a person who is dressed smartly. We often think that person is professional looking. They have an appearance that appears professional, smart, something that gives a person a little bit of professionalism. You can trust a person when they look smart. I hope you trust me today with your English learning. The live chat is very busy. Hello to the live chat. Who was first here today? Oh, very interesting. Beatrice. Congratulations. You are first on today's live chat. Congratulations to you, Beatrice. You are first on today's live chat. Nice to see you here as well. In second place, Vitas. And then we have Palmyra. We have Cami. Hello, Cami. Where are you watching at the moment? I wonder where you might be right now. Also, of course, he is here. Once again, it is the one, it is the only, Luis Mendez is here today. Hello, Luis. Nice to see you back as well, watching in France. Very lovely to have your company today. Francesco, Paolo, also Maurizio. Can I say a big thank you to you for your lovely donation? Maurizio, watching in Italy. Thank you very much. I noticed you sent a donation. Thank you very much. These days, I don't know why, I don't actually receive many donations, because most people seem to assume that I am some sort of millionaire. I can assure you now, I am not a millionaire. I am about £1 million away from being a millionaire, which means I'm not a millionaire. So your donations are always gladly received, and it helps all of this to carry on for as long as I can keep it going. So thank you very much once again, Maurizio. Thank you also to Paco. We also have Pran Ram, who is here today as well. Giovanni Rivetti is here. Hello to the English addicts. It is so nice to meet you all here again after the holiday season. Of course, we are now into September. September has arrived. It always means one thing here in the UK. It means that summer is coming to an end. Autumn is approaching. So normally the 1st of September is seen as the beginning of meteorological autumn. Even though at the moment all of the leaves are still on the trees, autumn has not yet started, even though it is starting to feel a little cooler over the past couple of days. It has definitely got cooler. I can safely say it. So now we are heading towards autumn. It will be very interesting to see what the weather is like. It has been a crazy year, to be honest with you. Hello also to... who else is here? Oh, we have Claudia. Hello to Claudia. It's nice to see you here today. Thank you very much. Hello Johnson, who says, you are looking rather professional and smart today. Thank you very much. That is kind of you to say that to me. Saturino is here as well. Giorgio Armani passed away this week. A lot of people feeling rather sad and upset because of that news. Of course, one of the big fashion designers in the world. If you follow fashion, a lot of people do. I've always noticed fashion shows are very unusual things, because the people who are wearing the fashion always look very good looking, very attractive, very appealing to the eye. But the clothing that they normally wear during the fashion shows are quite often bizarre, unusual in appearance. In fact, I would say quite often you never see anyone wearing the clothes that you see at the fashion shows. You never see people walking around the streets wearing that type of clothing. So sometimes fashion shows are actually put on to give the designer or the certain brand a chance to gain publicity. Sometimes it is done merely for publicity, to get publicity for that particular brand. Hello also to Marianne. Hello Marianne. It is nice to see you here. September rain is a melody. It is. Yes, it can be very nice. I think rain is lovely when you are in the house. Not so nice when you are out in the rain, although some people do enjoy it. Anna. Hello, Anna. Hello, Mr. Duncan. I've become fluent in English watching your videos for many years. Thank you for your work on YouTube. You are very welcome. Thank you very much, Anna. I'm glad my videos have helped you. Nicholas is here as well. Hello, Nicholas. Nice to see you here. Where are you watching? I don't know, because I'm not there. Today we are looking at fashion, the way you dress, the way you look, the clothes that you put on. We are looking at that particular subject today. Apparently Vitas has 26 Celsius today in Lithuania. Here, I'm afraid to tell you that we only have 17 Celsius, and it is very, very wet. That is all I will say for now. Francesco, is it autumn or fall? That is a very good question. Here in England, in British English, we describe the season where the leaves fall from the trees as autumn. So we call it autumn. In the United States, they often refer to that particular season as fall. F-A-L-L. Because I suppose it is a good description of autumn, because then that is when the trees start to lose their leaves. So here in England, we always refer to it as autumn. The autumn, the season of autumn. Hello to Kin Buddha, who says, I am Vietnamese. Can I say a big special hello to everyone watching in Vietnam? Because last week, the big celebrations took place for the Vietnamese national holiday. So many people in Vietnam have been having a super wonderful holiday in celebration of their national day. So I hope you had a nice holiday. A lot of people having holidays at the moment. I almost feel as if I need another holiday. I don't know why, because I've only just had a holiday and now I feel as if I need another one. Hello to Ali. Hello Ali, who says, oh my goodness, I can't believe this. This is incredible. Ali Porfalahi, I hope I pronounced that correctly, says, here in Iran, it is 50 Celsius. I can't even imagine what 50 Celsius sounds like or feels like. I can't even begin to imagine what it feels like to walk outside and experience 50 Celsius. That is a lot, I have to say. I hope you are keeping cool there in Iran, Ali. I hope so. We are taking a quick break and then we are back with a big subject today. We are talking all about clothes. People enjoy wearing clothes. Sometimes you don't have to wear many clothes, especially if it's hot. And sometimes you have to wear lots and lots of clothes. All of that coming up in a little while. But first we'll take a quick break and then we will be back right after this. good boy now. Don't forget, the end of next month, it is my 19th anniversary here on YouTube.
Join with Mr. Duncan on the live chat. Learn together and have fun.
We are live right now. English Addict is with you. Hello there. It's nice to see you here today with myself, Mr. Duncan, enjoying the words and phrases of the English language, which is what we will be doing right now because we are looking at clothes today, all about clothing, different types of clothing, words connected to clothes, different types of clothes. And we will do that right now. There are many ways of describing clothes, things we wear, things we put on. You put on your clothes. You wear clothes. Normally, when you go out, you will wear certain types of clothes. When you are in the house, you will wear certain types of clothes. And we will look at that subject today. We all wear clothes in our day-to-day lives. We wear certain clothes for particular occasions. So when we talk about clothes, we are talking about anything we wear, things we put on. You put on your clothes. You wear clothes. It is the action of actually having clothes on. Clothes is expressed as plural, so we always say clothes. It is basically the plural of cloth. So when we talk about cloth, it is the thing that many clothes are made of. And clothes describes the whole subject or the general subject of things you wear. Clothes are the things you wear. Then if we are talking about one individual item of clothing, then that is how we will describe it. An item of clothing is one thing. For example, the tie I'm wearing here. This is an item of clothing. The shirt I am wearing is an item of clothing. It is my shirt. The hat that I'm wearing, and yes, it is true, I love wearing hats. I've always enjoyed wearing hats. So you can see right here I am wearing my lovely baseball cap. It is an item of clothing, and that is how we express anything we wear. A garment is an item of clothing or a piece of clothing. So when we talk about garments, we are talking about clothes that you wear. Quite often, garments are things that are worn for certain occasions or during a certain moment of time. Maybe you are going to a wedding, or maybe you are going for a job interview. Your garment is the thing you are wearing. So quite often we will use the word garment to mean something formal for a special occasion. It is a piece of clothing. The word adorn comes from the French word for garnir, which means to put on. You garnish something. And I think its root actually stems from Germanic as well. So you might adorn something. You put on something. You add something as an item of clothing. Clothes are the coverings. You can describe clothes as a type of covering. So clothes cover your body. They are worn to decorate the human form. Now, I think that's a lovely way of describing clothes, to be honest with you. So clothes are worn to decorate the body, to make a person look smart, to make a person appear as if they are presentable. But let us not forget also, clothes are worn to protect our modesty. We often talk about modesty. In that sense, we are talking about your actual physical form, how you look without clothing. So clothes are there to cover your body, to keep you warm, but also to hide your modesty. And I think you know what I mean by that. All of the bits and pieces that quite often people do not want to see at all. You wear clothes. To wear something is the verb. You are doing it. I wear a tie. I wear my shirt. I wear a hat. I am doing it. The person doing it, of course, is the wearer. I am the wearer of this hat. I am the wearer of this particular tie. The person doing it. The person is the wearer. As the past tense, we can say wore. W-O-R-E. Something you did. Something you've already done. I wore that hat yesterday. I wore this tie last Friday. And then we have the past participle, which is worn. Something has been worn. It was worn yesterday. It was worn last Friday. And that is the past participle form of wear. A person wears clothes. I always think the word wear is a very interesting word because we can use wear in many different ways. Something you put on, an item of clothing, is something you wear. You are using that thing. But of course, the word wear can be used in other ways as well. To use something, to slowly damage something because you are using it, can also be wear. Quite often as an adjective, you can see that something has been used because it looks worn. It looks as if it has been used already. A person wears clothes. They are wearing them. So once again, you are using that word in an interesting way. To put on clothes is to wear clothes. The wearer, that's me by the way, here, is the one wearing the clothes. So I am the person, you can see, I am the wearer of the hat, the tie, and the white shirt. Looking rather nice today, I have to say. It is not very often that I wear my shirt and tie, so I have to be honest with you. and say, I really, really enjoy wearing my shirt and tie. The wearer has the clothes on. So we can say the person is wearing the clothes. I have these clothes on. They are on me. I am wearing them. A person is dressed in clothing. We can describe a person as being dressed. So we are talking about the way a person looks in their clothes. Are they wearing clothes? Yes, they are dressed. They have clothes on. The word dress expresses the state of putting on or wearing clothes. So we can say that a person is dressed. That means they have their clothes on. Maybe you are ready to go out to work. We can say that you are dressed for work. You are wearing the clothes that you normally wear for work. You are dressed for work. You are ready for work. You dress yourself in the morning. You begin the day by dressing yourself. You put your clothes on. I wonder what the first thing is you put on in the morning. I'm just trying to think. Well, the first thing I put on in the morning is my smile. That is always the first thing I put on in the morning, is my smile. So you begin the day by dressing yourself. You get dressed. To get dressed is to put on your clothes. We can see how you are dressed. So if you see a person walking by, you are looking at them. You are looking at their clothes. You look at how they are dressed, how they look, the appearance of their clothing, their dress. Of course, the word dress can also be used as a noun as well. We can use the word dress as a noun, an item of clothing worn by women. So women wear dresses, something normally that looks elegant, something that looks nice, something that is attractive, normally in a pleasant colour, a bright colour. A woman will wear a dress. A particular style of clothing will be worn. Now this is something I love to see. I don't know why, but whenever I see a person dressed in smart clothing, I always feel more comfortable with that person, especially if I'm doing business with them, if I'm going into a shop or an office, if I'm visiting a company. Maybe I have to talk to someone about a certain situation or a problem I'm having. If I see someone and they are wearing a suit and a tie, it seems more professional. It feels more professional. I feel more comfortable with that person because they look smart. A particular type of clothing will be worn in a job, in a certain profession. A person will wear a certain type of clothes. This particular clothing is worn for a certain situation, something you are doing. Smart clothes for an important event. Smart clothes. So we normally refer to that as smart. Something that looks nice, something that looks clean, something that looks attractive can also be smart. A person's appearance is smart. It looks professional. For example, a business suit for a professional person. If you are working in a certain profession, maybe you are a doctor, Maybe you are a person who has a very high position in a company. Maybe you are a lawyer, a solicitor. You want to give other people the impression of being professional. So I always think, and I know these days a lot of men do not wear ties. They have become rather unfashionable these days. So many men will not wear ties. However, I always think ties look amazing. They really do. So if you are wearing a shirt with a collar, I think the tie is always a nice addition to the outfit, the thing you are wearing. Then, of course, we have smart casual, which is very popular these days. As I just said, many men and also many women are dressing less formal. Smart casual is now a popular style. Business clothes are not always formal. So many people these days are not wearing ties or even a suit. Quite often they will wear a jacket with a pair of trousers that do not match. They do not go together with the colour. However, they are seen as acceptable. So quite often in businesses these days, people will accept smart casual as the clothing worn. And of course you can see the lady as well. The lady is also looking very smart, but also casual at the same time. There is a reason for that, of course. These days a lot of people don't like wearing tight clothes. Many men don't like wearing the tie. They think it is too tight around the neck. Some people do, some people don't. Many people prefer to wear casual clothes, comfortable clothes. They look smart, but also they are comfortable to wear. So if I am in the house, if I'm relaxing, if I'm taking it easy, quite often I will wear my casual clothes. If I'm going out for a walk into town, sometimes I will wear my casual clothes, comfortable clothes. In fact, quite often I will do that because I prefer it. If you are going for a walk, quite often you will want to wear comfortable clothes. You don't want to wear things that are tight and uncomfortable. So I would say these days casual clothes are very popular for him and also for her as well. They look smart but are also comfortable at the same time. Of course, over the years, clothes have changed. Fashions have changed. Clothing has changed over the years. I don't know what's going on there. What? Can I just tell you something? I was trying to find a photograph this morning of a cave woman. Now, the guy on the right, on the left rather, is a caveman, and then on the right we have a cave woman. I could not find a photograph of a cave woman. It was very difficult. So that is the best I could find, unfortunately. The style or fashion of clothing will, of course, change over time, going back to the early days. Apparently, this is what we used to wear. Yes. It might come back into fashion. You might find that people will start wearing these things again. Who knows? Who knows? Clothing has changed over the years. The style or fashion of clothing will change over time. You can see here, this gentleman on the left is looking very smart. So this period of clothing is from the Edwardian period. It is when people wore smart clothes all the time. There is a reason for this, by the way. Clothing in the past used to be a sign of wealth, having lots of money. So if you were wearing smart clothes, if you looked smart in your clothing, it also meant that you were wealthy. Your station or your position in society was viewed as being high. So clothing in the past would often be worn as a sign of being wealthy, having money. And you can see the man in this photograph, he is wearing a large hat, a top hat. Again, who knows, maybe one day they will come back into fashion. Maybe one day men will be wearing their big top hats again. Only time will tell. I have to say, I think the lady in this photograph is looking very elegant. That is a lovely, lovely appearance. You can see also she is protecting herself from the sun with her little parasol as well. Then we move on in time. Oh dear. Clothing and fashion has changed a lot over the years. So you might say that clothing has changed a lot over the years. Can you guess when this particular photograph was taken? This was the end of the 1970s and then into the early 1980s. A lot of people dressed like this. The term we used to use was punk. Who remembers punk? Punk rock. Anarchy. People pushing against the norms of society. I remember it because I'm that old, you see. And of course we can't forget the ladies. They were also getting involved with the punk scene. Yes, very nice young lady. I like it. I like the colour of your hair. I might have that style of hair one day. Maybe. Clothing has changed. Here we are in the 1980s, and it is true that during the 1980s, a lot of people would wear bright, colourful clothing. I would say during the mid-1980s, many people would wear bright, colourful clothes. The clothing was also bright and quite often would look too big. I will give you an idea of what I mean by that. Too large. Look at this. Now this lady here is from the 1980s, and this is the type of fashion that was around. Not everyone, but some people would look like this. The 1980s. There will never be another period of time where the fashion looked as amazing as this. I mentioned hats earlier, and yes, we are going to mention hats. As I mentioned earlier, I love wearing hats. You can see a selection of hats here. We have on the right, we have an old straw hat. There you can see a top hat. Many gentlemen would wear a top hat. Not anymore. You never see anyone wearing a top hat. Maybe occasionally the King of England might wear one. I missed out my baseball cap. Here it is, here it is. So this is the hat I'm wearing today. This is modern fashion, even though not many people wear hats anymore. I think they have gone out of fashion, even though you do see people wearing baseball caps. A lot of people ask, Mr. Duncan, why do you always wear your hat, even in the house? I just like the style. I like the appearance. I like the way it looks. Everyone has their own taste and style, and this happens to be mine. A place where clothes are stored is called a closet. Closet. Closet is just an enclosed space. A small area is a closet. And in the UK or in British English, we will often refer to this as a wardrobe. Wardrobe. In American English, they will often say closet. In British English, we often say wardrobe. You put your clothes in the closet. You put your clothes in a wardrobe. They both mean the same thing. A person's collection of clothes can be described as their wardrobe. So your collection, the clothes you own, the clothes that you wear, can be described as your wardrobe. The selection of clothes that you own can be described as your wardrobe. The things you wear, the things you have, the clothes you buy. They are all your wardrobe. They are the things you wear. Other terms, there are other words we can use for clothes. For example, we can say garb. Garb. It's a very interesting word. Garb. The garb is your clothes. The clothes you are wearing. Quite often for a certain situation or maybe something you have to do. You have your garb. Clobber is another one. Clobber. I'm not sure if we know where that comes from, but clobber is basically your clothes. It can be any type of clothing. You might go to the shop to buy some new clobber, some new clothes. Then we can describe clothes as threads. So when you think about clothing, the way they are made, the way they are put together, they are all put together with threads. So quite often people will describe their clothes as threads. Then we have the word tog. Your togs are your clothes. Your outfit is the type of clothing that you are wearing. Quite often a person's outfit will be the clothes they are wearing. Maybe you wear certain clothes that go together. They go together, they match. So you put those clothes on. That is your outfit. And then a very formal word, attire. Your attire is the clothes. It refers to the clothing you are wearing. There are many ways of describing clothes. Steady. Don't get too excited. Don't get too excited. Clothes are worn on the surface and underneath other clothes. We wear underwear under our clothes for 2 reasons, maybe 3 reasons, but two reasons, and maybe a third one. Comfort. Comfort? Yes. When you have your underwear on, you feel comfortable. There is nothing better than putting a nice clean pair of pants on in the morning. You feel so comfortable and then you can wear your other clothes on top. Also for hygiene as well, to keep your body feeling clean, you will wear something in between you and your outer clothing. So underwear is also worn for hygiene as well. And of course, most of us will change our underwear every day. So that's the reason why. So at the top you can see there is underwear for men, and underneath, underwear for ladies as well. So we often think of underwear as being comfortable. You don't wear your underwear outside. Although technically, if you go to the beach, people are wearing their underwear. Isn't that strange? So if I went out into the street now wearing just my underpants, people would complain. They would call the police. But if I went to the beach and put on a pair of swimming trunks, no one would complain. Isn't that strange? So sometimes the type of clothing you wear depends on where you actually are at the time. Other items of clothing are worn too, including socks. I have to say I love colourful socks. Colourful, bright, cheerful socks. In one of my earlier English lessons, I talked all about my favourite socks. The only problem with socks is quite often they will wear out. So if you wear your socks often, they will slowly wear out. Quite often they will get holes in the toes. So then you have to throw them away, unfortunately. I always feel a little bit sad when I have to throw away a pair of socks. I don't know why. I always feel a little bit sad when I have to throw away a pair of socks because now they are old. It's very sad. I don't know why. Huh? What was that? What the hell was that? Can someone tell me what that was? That just frightened the life out of me. What was that? My phone started making the most horrendous noise then. What's going on? That just scared the life out of me. What was that? What was that? I think it was one of those strange government warnings. We're not at war, are we? Has something happened? Can you please look out of your window now? Because I don't know what that was, but it just scared the life out of me. Oh, yes. Apparently the government today were going to activate the alarm for the whole country at 3 o'clock today as a test. So that's what that was. I am very sorry if that made you jump, because it did make me jump. I almost had a heart attack then. Isn't that strange? Very weird. Addy says that alarm is normally used when the weather is really bad. I think today we are actually testing the alarm system, and this is something that they did before. So I think that's what it is. Unless, of course, something really bad has just happened. I feel worried now. What was that all about? I apologise. Some clothes are designed to be worn by men and women at the same time. So men and women can wear certain types of clothing. The clothes are designed to be worn by both men and women. We often refer to this as unisex. Unisex clothes are clothes that can be worn by anyone. Male, female. They are suitable for both genders. Then, of course, we have footwear, the things you wear on your feet, your shoes, ladies' shoes. These are very elegant, by the way. Look at those shoes. Aren't they beautiful? Gold shoes. And these at the top are men's shoes. Quite often, a man will wear these at work. They are work shoes, formal shoes. Those at the bottom, maybe a lady who is going to a special occasion, maybe a wedding, or maybe a special dance with her husband or boyfriend. She will wear something like that to look elegant. Even though I have to say they do look uncomfortable. Sometimes women have to suffer for their fashion. And I think these shoes always look incredibly uncomfortable. So if you are a lady watching at the moment, do you ever suffer for your fashion? Because these shoes look as if they might hurt a lot. Another type of footwear, boots. We often wear boots, comfortable shoes, and these might not be comfortable. Some people don't like wearing boots because they can be uncomfortable. Personally, I don't mind wearing boots. Sometimes you have to. If you are going for a walk, sometimes you have to wear a big pair of boots to protect your feet. So boots are a type of shoe. Normally they are higher around the ankle, and quite often they will go up the leg. Sometimes boots can go very high up the leg, very high. At the top, these are boots for men, and at the bottom, boots for ladies. So both men and women wear boots of different shapes and colours. Here is a phrase, an interesting phrase. This phrase has been quoted many times over the years. Clothes make the man. Now I know what you're going to say, Mr. Duncan, that is a little bit prejudiced towards women. But of course, these days, you might say clothes make the person. Clothes make the individual. Because I think the clothes we wear quite often represent us. I think sometimes, even if we don't realise it, I think quite often the clothes we wear represent us in a certain way, even if we don't realise we are doing it. Clothes make the man. This basically means one's general appearance is important to make the right impression. So as I said earlier, in certain situations, maybe you have to wear a particular type of clothing. If you are going for a job interview, you will wear smart clothing. If you are going to a special occasion, maybe a wedding, maybe you're going to a special presentation, maybe you are going to an exclusive dinner party, quite often you will have to wear smart clothes. So clothes make the man. I believe it was William Shakespeare who came up with that particular phrase. I think also Mark Twain used it as well. Clothes make the man, or the person. Today we've been talking about clothes. Something we can all relate to. Of course, I suppose it is worth mentioning that many different cultures have their own type of clothing as well. So if you visit different parts of the world, you might see people wearing different types of clothing. We often refer to it as national dress, something that a person relates that particular country with, maybe a type of clothes. For example, if you go to Scotland, you might see men wearing kilts. A kilt is a type of clothing. It looks like a skirt, but it's not for women, it is for men. So that is a good example of a type of national dress. Paco says, sandals with socks don't look good, especially black socks. If you go on holiday and you wear your shorts, quite often you will see, especially men of a certain age, they might be wearing sandals with black socks, or sandals with no socks. Some people prefer with socks and some people prefer without. So sometimes certain types of clothes do not go together very well. Although nowadays it would appear that you can dress in anything. The women are wearing men's clothes. Some men are wearing women's clothes. And on that note, I think I will end today's live stream. I hope you've enjoyed this English lesson. English Addict is with you every Sunday. That is when I'm here. I will put it on the screen, so there is no way you can forget. English Addict is with you every Sunday from 2 p.m. UK time. That is when I'm here with you. Every Sunday, 2 p.m. UK time. Every week we have a little bit of fun with the English language, which of course is what learning should be. Learning should always be fun. It should always be exciting. Addy. Hello, Addy. People still wear kilts for formal events, military ceremonies and cultural celebrations, though they are no longer a common everyday garment for most people. Yes, if you go to Scotland, you won't see everyone. All of the men won't be wearing kilts. Because apparently a lot of women and some men go to Scotland just to see the men in their kilts. And when they get there, they are very disappointed because there aren't any. Where are all the men in their kilts? There aren't any. So they won't be wearing their kilts in the supermarket, especially near the frozen food section. If you know what I mean, then you know what I mean. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for all of your messages today. Some very interesting messages. I look forward to reading them later. I always watch my live stream so I can follow your messages. Thank you very much for your company today. I am back with you next Sunday. There will be some new short lessons and also some new long English lessons coming during the week. Look out for those. And if you haven't, then please don't forget to subscribe as well. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then you will never miss anything that I do ever again. Thank you for your company. See you soon. This is Mr. Duncan, that's me by the way, saying thank you for watching. See you next Sunday. Have a great week. Enjoy whatever it is you are doing. Apologies once again for the alarm that went off. Apparently, everyone in the country today, all the citizens, had the same experience. Their mobile phone started making a terrible sound. Very annoying. See you soon. Take care of yourselves. And of course, until the next time we meet here, you know what's coming next. Yes, you do. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday and ta-ta for now. See you soon.
Join